Okay, so what are we doing?
I don't know.
Oh, I thought we were reporting. Reporting. Yeah, I'm
Reporting.
reporting. I'm on the streets of LA right now. Currently
Mate.
reporting while
You
using makeup
you
vision.
helicopter noises. I don't know why you have helicopter noises when you're on the streets of LA. You're not you're not an eye in the
It's
sky.
fucking Black Hawk Down in here. They're coming out of the sky, man. They're dropping.
They're everywhere.
But no, I have hit the record button though.
Oh, okay, cool. Hello, everybody.
Yes. Hello, anyone and everyone who listens to our bullshit.
Or no one and nobody else who listens to our bullshit. Either way, hello and welcome.
Yes, I am Pyrisk. That is
And I am
YuYu the
you,
Red Briar.
the one and only. How do you do?
Uh, but yeah, we have decided to team up and start our own podcast because why the fuck not?
Indeed. Why the fuck not?
Exactly. Everyone else has their own. Why shouldn't we?
Yeah, and I do like rambling about utter nonsense into a microphone for about half an hour to an hour, whilst, yeah, you know.
Oh yeah, no, it's
Can't wait
always
to be cancelled.
fuck.
Gonna be fun.
You can't let them cancel you. Okay,
I
you gotta be
can't be cancelled. That's the thing.
you gotta be
Like,
stronger.
so small disclaimer. Liberals may have a hard time.
Liberals can eat my ass.
But then again, conservatives will also have a hard time. Um, I'm not sure. Like, what's your version of the conservatives over there? Like, we've got conservative parties, and then we've got like a bunch of other parties no one gives a damn about because they're never in power. What about you?
Okay,
I think
look,
you got.
we got liberals and Democrats and conservatives and Republicans.
Okay,
At the end of the day, the
they're all
majority can
idiots.
agree that liberals are just the fucking worst people to exist on this planet. Um, uh, but in the end, I don't fucking care. Everyone just get the hell along. And guess what the name of the podcast is called? We're right, you're wrong. So, in the end, we really don't give a fuck what you think.
Because disclaimer, we are right, and
Yes,
you are most likely wrong.
yes, absolutely. Because he is in the UK, I am in America. So, we got a full scope of the world here to work with.
Indeed. So if you're an American having an opinion, you're probably wrong because it's different over here. And if you're British and you have an opinion, you're wrong because it's different over there.
Oh,
So, in other words, the motto will be you don't know shit about dick.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Only you knows shit about dick.
I also tipped my beer over just now because I've been moisturizing my flesh, and it's kind of unnerving just how kind of slippery things are in my hands.
Oh, God damn it.
You're welcome for that.
Oh my God. Uh, but okay, on a little more serious note, yeah, the podcast is called We're Right, You're Wrong. We're going to talk about literally anything and everything under the sun. Some of it may be controversial, some of it may not. I don't give it doesn't fucking matter. We're going to talk about what we want to talk about whether you agree or don't. It does not make any difference to us. We're here just
Yeah.
to put our views out there on shit and talk about whatever the hell we want.
Yeah, and if some decent awareness comes out of it through some of our discussions, then that's ideal. If
No,
not, well,
no.
um,
If any decency comes from this, I think we failed.
oh, okay, that's good. I guess I should just stay in my lane then.
No. You're right. You're right. If some decency can be brought out of this, then by all means, that's a good thing.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's okay. I'm pretty sure they'll know the segments where things get real because it'll probably be kind of punctuated by a "Listen up, sheeple," as it
I'd be
always
more
is.
like, listen here, peasants.
And
Uh,
now, a message for the peasantry.
yes, with a flaming arrow to your dirt hut. But anywho, how the podcast is gonna work is basically one episode, one of us will host it slash lead it, whatever you want to call it, by doing the intro part and picking a topic to discuss. And then the following episode, the other one will host it. And we just take turns going back and forth like that. And we each just choose our own topics. And that's what gets discussed. Of course, I'm sure we'll go on side tangents and shit.
Of
Because,
course.
my good God, playing Sea of Thieves, I think we've proven we can't even fucking do one thing from 1 minute to the other.
Oh hush, we had fun.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. But
It led to
anyways.
inevitable death, but we had fun.
But anyways, do a little small talk now. You said you were starting a new job. When are you starting that?
So I do believe I'll be starting my new job come Tuesday. Essentially dealing with the complaints that your every man and woman has against their
Nope.
tenant, their
Nope.
landlords and such.
Nope. Only
Essentially,
only only men named Joe get to complain.
yeah, only Joe gets to complain. But also only exclusively towards their landlords. Anyone else, I don't want anything to do with you. Don't contact me. In fact, actually, just can the Joes also kind of just stay out of my inbox as well, please?
Yeah, you know what? Don't even check out his YouTube channel. Just leave him the fuck alone. God.
Yeah, whatever you do, do not check out my YouTube channel. There's like I'm sure you'll find just hours worth of nothing on there, okay?
Yeah, in fact, he has all his videos set to private. He doesn't even want you to watch
I don't. How do you spell private again?
them. Private.
Oh, I might have done an oopsie.
Oh, you set it to that public.
Yeah, like isn't that the bad one?
Oh, the
You
one,
know,
the one where everyone can go on there and tell you how you're wrong
I mean,
and
sometimes
how.
people get arrested for being too public. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, but those are my favorite kind of videos to watch.
really.
Take that as you will. Uh,
Oh, I shall. I shall, Frank.
Frank, who the fuck's Frank?
What do you mean? Who the fuck is Frank?
I don't know you.
Wow,
I don't know.
your risk,
Uh,
you hurt me.
but anyways, then you got the solar panels working on your van?
I did,
That's
kind of. Not really. I mean, it doesn't help that whilst I have hooked it up right, it's really hard to tell if it actually does the job of charging the things in the van because I've parked it in a stupid location right underneath kind of like a tower, so it only gets like an hour of day like sunlight anyway.
oh jeez. So what you're saying is you need to now power a UV light on top of your van.
Yeah, yeah, just like a nice big UV floodlight.
Yeah, it'll just be like a constant circle. The solar panels power the UV light, which then provides power to the solar panels, which then just fucking this big circle
Yeah,
until
yeah, and I kind of get like 1 kilowatt hour per week or something in actual charge. Yeah.
yeah, until inevitably your van just catches on fire.
Yeah. But I hope that'll be enough to stream and record
Oh
and
yeah,
you
you got
know
to do yeah. That's if you let your van catch fire and you don't fucking record it or live stream it, what kind of fucking internet sensation are you?
I
You're
mean,
not.
I know I'm a millennial dude, but like I'm not just going to grab out my phone the moment anything around me gets destroyed. Okay, I'm not like the Japanese with their earthquakes. Okay.
Okay, well, I'm a fucking millennial too, but goddamn, you know. In fact, what? You're like a what? What did we discover? Like a year older than me?
I think so, and yet you sound like you're 40 or
Uh,
something. So,
I know. I've been able to get away with being older since I was a teenager.
yeah, it's actually kind of disgusting, but whatever.
I just got, yeah, right. Chicks dig it. They like to call me Big Poppy.
Big papi. Fair
Not,
enough.
not
Fair enough.
really. I've told my wife to call me that in a joking way. She just looks at me like I've lost my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well. Any other exciting news over there besides the Queen being dead?
Wow, I cannot believe you said that.
Uh,
Well, actually, on the same note of the Queen being dead, um, we do, however, have this new monarch in place, who I'm sad to say is, well, he's supposed to be a man, but from what I've seen, he's a bit of a whiny pansy.
I've
I
got.
don't think I honestly don't think many people have been particularly looking forward to old Charles like taking over the throne, and I do find it a little bit funny that during the mourning period of the Queen, he's wasted no time trying to fill that seat. You know,
See,
like I don't care if you're a royalist or just your average monarch hater, but like Queen's life is still a life that has been and gone now and should be celebrated delicately, like every other loss of life. But
so
filling the seat that quickly, my gosh.
what you're by uh you know the whole, what'd you say, celebrating life or whatever and stuff. So what you're saying is we should like throw her casket over a bridge?
I plead the fifth.
Just kind of be like, to the fish down below. Surprise!
On that note, real talk. As an American, don't you kind of want to like take her to Boston or something and just reenact the old party?
I hadn't even thought of that, honestly.
uh,
That thought never crossed my mind once. Because I truly, like, it truly does not affect me in any way, shape, or form that she's dead. I honestly don't have an opinion on it.
wow.
But then again,
Imagine being a fence sitter.
but
Jesus.
then again, that's kind of just how I am in general with anybody.
What an
No, just
indecisive
not.
fool with no opinion on anything.
No,
Oh,
no, it's not about that.
pathetic.
No, it's more like if it doesn't affect me, I literally don't care. I have better things to do.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. People are way too overly involved with other people these days, and it's kind of a little bit unnerving.
Yeah,
I would
it
love
is.
to actually just detach myself from it. He
People.
says, taking to the internet, trying to build somewhat of a following on YouTube and doing
Well,
podcasts now, apparently. Yeah, what?
well, it's different. It's you're different. You're a special snowflake.
Thank you. I like to think that I am.
My mom always says I am.
Does that give me special snowflake privileges where people can't back chat me or like say wrong about me because it will be kind of like discriminatory?
No, no, no. What that is that if someone does talk shit about you, then you can go on and be like, they're being so mean to me, and you'll get just like 100 million people gathered to your side defending you.
Oh my god. How can you say such things about an influencer?
Precisely because you're an influencer or you aspire to be one.
Do you think influencers ever eat hot food? Because, like, you look at their Instagrams and stuff, they've always got, like, half a dozen pictures of these really nice looking fancy meals from restaurants and stuff, but it's always, like, perfectly framed. It kind of makes you wonder if, like, they actually tasted that food whilst it was cooked to the perfect heat, or was it stone cold by the time they actually tasted it?
Nah, you're not wrong, but that's also why I am not part of any social media.
Yeah.
I don't do Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, none of it.
Twitter is good fun. Twitter is good fun, uh, especially in the art department. Like you go onto that side of things, and everybody bloody hates each other with viscous fury. Like you so much in as usher a single stroke onto the Twitter, and people will have a massive problem with you. Oh, did you use white paint? Racist. Did you do like a fan art and you haven't colored the 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 subject matter black? You're racist.
Yeah, but well, they must be
You
American.
draw an emoji. Do you not realize that the original emoji was designed by a colonizer? A
Oh,
colonizer.
oh my God.
But a colonizer, Perisk.
Oh my God. What the fuck? You called me Frank, now you call me Frank. Will you pick a fucking name?
Okay, Troy.
That's still a different name.
Okay. I'm sorry, Frank.
Jesus Christ, just pick one and stick with it. Well, okay.
You'll forever be my Frank. I'm
Uh,
sorry.
okay. Okay. Well, you take you do with that what you want. But anyways, I feel like we've ventured off enough between just talking about how things were going for you to the queen to people being terrible people.
Yeah,
So,
but here's the thing, Frank. Most importantly, how's things with you? Like, how's your work life? How's your kids? How's your wife?
work sucks as always. Being a truck driver isn't really that fun. Nah, work wise, it's not bad. Just busy. Ah, kids, fine. Daughter goes to school in the second grade. Son is 2, and I just want to shake him sometimes because he drives me insane. And sometimes I like to forget my wife exists for a moment so I can just not have a care in the world. And then I remember I'm married and remember I have responsibilities and just, oh dear God,
Well, you know what they say about marriage.
don't do it.
Indeed.
Nah, in all seriousness, everything's pretty good on my end for the most part, besides my house leaking water.
Why is your house leaking water? What have you done?
Fucking hates me. That's why. I don't know, it's just leaking water in the basement some, so don't think it's the
Isn't
foundation. Don't think it's leaking, through the basement walls. It's pretty sure there's a pipe or something in the wall that's leaking a little. So gotta actually have a plumber coming out tomorrow at some point to cut
okay.
into my finished basement wall and try to figure out the problem and hopefully be able to fix it.
You should just install like bilge pumps or something.
Mm, yeah, but again, that takes time and effort and money.
No, no, don't be silly.
And I don't have a lot of any of it.
Well, you know what they say, people with no time, um, make time. Bu- Busy people make time. Um, Lazy people run out of time. What is that saying?
I don't. I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. I have no idea
Oh,
what you're going for.
I know there is a saying, but anyway, yeah. Just do better, be better,
Yeah,
Frank.
it's so easy. There you go. That's the advice of a lifetime. Just do better.
Do better, be better.
For once, I want you to make me proud.
Yeah.
Ah, oh well.
Your track
But
record so far hasn't been that great, Frank.
do what?
What?
What'd you say?
Oh, nothing, nothing.
Oh my God, I'm about to throw myself out this three-story hotel window.
How is the hotel? Is it nice?
Oh, it's not. It's nothing super fancy, but for what it is, it's nice. I like staying at this one.
Yeah, fair, fair.
My knuckles just popped. It was nice.
Well, that doesn't sound healthy, Frank.
Actually, there's been studies proven nowadays is that popping your knuckles actually doesn't do anything.
Yeah, isn't it like just trapped air or something in the
Yeah,
joints?
something. I think it's like some sort of sac or something that
Ew.
you like pop or I don't know. I could be wrong, but yeah, I know that studies have shown that like that room or not rumor, just like the myth of oh, if you keep cracking your knuckles, you'll cause arthritis or whatever. Like that's not true. There's nothing that's ever indicated that. It's just parents and grandparents don't like to hear kids crack their knuckles.
It is one of the things. I think it's like one of the most common things that sets off the gag reflex.
It's never. I just don't. I don't mind hearing it. I just like sometimes my wife will like put her hand on me and then push her fingers back and crack her knuckles like that, and I hate anyone that I hate that. I hate someone doing that because the just the feeling of their knuckles, like you get the little vibrations or whatever from them doing it. It just I don't like it. It's one of my things. I just like almost want to slap her. If she was literally anyone else, I probably would slap her. But she's my wife and I love her and I wouldn't slap her.
No, if you want a very passive aggressive way of getting back at her, does she play computer games?
Nope.
Damn it,
No,
damn
she
it,
does
Dale.
not.
I was going to suggest that you turn on motion blur on all her games.
uh, oh well. Okay. So we talked about how you're doing and all the other crap, and we talked about how I'm doing, and no one fucking cares. Uh,
Yes, yes. What is our subject matter for today?
subject
Lay it
matter.
on me, baby.
I know you've been waiting for it for like a
I'll
week.
have, I'll have.
Again, something that both of us have experience with, and many different branching paths of which way we can go down this. And there's a few of them that I definitely want to talk about because I'm just curious what your take is on it.
Oh,
Basically,
go on
the
then. Yeah,
gaming industry as a
this is
whole,
going to be good.
the gaming industry as a whole, and that goes through esports, certain developers, uh, certain kinds of games, basically anything to do with fucking gaming. And like one thing that I certainly want to talk about is what is your take on basically the way games are released now, such as you used to be able to go to the store, you'd buy a disc or a cartridge, if you're going that far back, and you go home, you put it in, and you have the entire full fucking game right there, and it works perfect.
Yeah,
But nowadays, you buy the shit, just online through Steam or Epic Games or PlayStation Store, Xbox Store, whatever. It, you buy that shit and you pay full price for it, and the game is like not even fucking done, and it's been made by like the one of the biggest names in the gaming industry, like EA or Activision or something.
I see large game companies the same way I see politicians. They need to get the fuck out of it and get some fresh blood in, essentially. So EA, it's very guilty of this. Um, Bethesda with their broken games. Just most big game companies releasing like games that have not been completed fully and doing this whole like, oh, but it's early access, or there's like a day one patch, or yeah, you get to get the majority of the game, but it ends on a cliffhanger. But wait, here's a DLC before it even releases. It's become too common, and it needs to stop. And I do think that us gamers are kind of feeding that ability to basically just do that way too much by paying into it. Like we need nothing short of a boycott to basically stop that. Now, my personal gripe with the way that games are released is you can still go to shops, you can still go to or GameStop or whatever it is, and go and get a physical case off the shelf, but there's no CD, there's no manual, the nothing on the inside. There's nothing there. Like you get a little card inside which has a code which redeems a game on say Steam, and you get the digital copy which you could have just bought online anyway at that point. And like oh god, who is it? There's a YouTuber. I think his name is Josh Josh Strife, I think his name was. I remember watching a video of his, and he made a very valid point. Gone are the days where you would go out to a shop with like your pocket change as like a young teen or something. You'll be excited for a new game that just got released. You'll buy the game from the shop. You go home, and whilst it downloading, whilst it's installing on your computer, you'll be sat on the crapper with the manual, just reading through it, learning every bit about this game that you're so like excited to play. Like the manual, despite just being a run through of hey, here's the controls, was an exciting part of that experience, and that's gone. Like there's just it's just gone. You got an empty case. I'm pretty sure you don't even keep the case these days. I think they just give you the card once you leave the shop. Um, and it's just sad because like for the most part, those cases were actually part of a collector's collection, and that's all gone. So it's on both sides. It's just like you're getting kind of incomplete products, in my opinion, and it's just terrible. Like, but at the same time, you got indie developers who are developing games. Yeah, they may be in early access, but they show a lot of promise. They're not big games by any stretch of the imagination, but they they have a lot to give, and the developers actually listen to the people who are interested in those projects, and they actually turn out half of the time to be better than AAA games.
Oh yeah,
Crusty graphics, but still
some
better.
sometimes their graphics have actually been pretty fucking good, pretty nice. But
Yeah,
no, I do. I like I agree with you on everything, but like you were talking about, like go to GameStop and stuff. Over here, all the cases are empty, but at least the last time I was there, which it's probably been good 6 months or so since I've been to a GameStop. So unless something's changed, I don't know. But at least over here, you like they will still give you a disc. Like you take the case up to the counter, and they'll get the disc out of the drawer and put it in, just so that way that keeps anyone from just grabbing the case and running out of the fucking store with it.
you get
But
discs. What's on them? Like,
but
surely it can't be the game.
yeah, but no, that's the other thing I was gonna say is, yeah, you used to just be able to go fucking buy a game, and you have the disc or cartridge, you put it in, boom, it's good. But now it's like, what? There might be a fucking a quarter of the game actually installed or something on the disc, but because I'm like, why? Call of Duty, for example, it, if you go like I have a PlayStation 5. If you I went or sorry, one of my friends bought me Call of Duty Cold War, and I installed it on there, but it's like some ridiculous amount of fucking gigabytes, and it's like the same fucking amount as he installed on his computer with it. And so I'm like, what is the purpose of the disc? It literally, what is on it? Like you said, it's just,
Yeah.
it's like I'm literally installing the same size file that he did on his PC, which he, bought it online, so it doesn't have a disc. Like
See, I
what?
always get taken back to early 2000s with it. Um, actually, you know what? This might actually be LinkedIn. I'm pretty sure uh, Valve, Steam. Um, I'm pretty sure they're the ones who invented that whole shtick because I remember the first uh, case of that happening to me, where like you buy the disc and then you spend forever downloading something off the internet. Was Half-Life 2. So the Source Engine stuff, which is Valve.
Yeah.
Like, I think Steam may have invented that whole thing, actually,
Well,
and I
I
think
mean,
others followed suit.
look at them. They fucking like, you know, Valve went and made Steam. So it would, kind of make sense. I don't know. I don't, because growing up, we didn't have a computer. Well, my grandparents had one, but mainly me and my brother just played like Diablo 2 on it. That was pretty much it. That was the extent of computer games that I knew of. Otherwise, I was strictly console. Like we didn't have a computer in our house. My mom thought was like, no, we don't need one. She didn't want to spend the money on it and yada yada. So it wasn't until I was like 18, 17, 18 was when I actually like got my own computer and kind of started playing shit. And even then, like Steam wasn't even really registering with me. I was just like, I want to play this one specific game. And so like that's pretty much all I did. And I never really fucked around with Steam for a few years. As sad and pathetic as that sounds.
You you're honestly not missing out on much.
No, I'm hell, I didn't have to. I had plenty of games console wise and stuff growing up, and so but regardless of that, it just yeah, I don't. There's some nostalgia factor where it's like, yeah, you get the cases and you can keep them for, just like, hey, this is my collection. It's cool, yada, yada. And then there are the collector's cases, which are usually like metal and they have all this other neat shit with it and stuff. And it's like, fucking anymore, I see that crap and I just kind of shrug and I'm like, what's the point?
Because
Why?
they know it's a gimmick to make money with. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I don't see a point. I can just buy the game online and it's like, yeah, I don't get all that other cool shit, but I'm just like, really, I buy the bundle mainly for the game, and that other stuff is like a bonus to me. And I'm like, but if I don't even truly get the game with that, if I still have to install the fucking game using the internet, I'm like, so what's the point?
Yeah.
why, why go through it? I don't know. I wish they would quit. As you said, like EA's a big one. Uh, and they just any of them they put out these games, they hype up these games, make them look so fucking great. And nowadays, even on game trailers, I still see people like on YouTube, they comment stuff and they're like, oh, it's, oh, this looks so great, yada yada, this and that. But
Oh,
i'm
two.
always the I'm like always the first guy to comment on there and going like, did you see who's developing it? You're gonna be disappointed. like, sorry, it might look great, but it's gonna suck ass. Like, take Anthem. Do you know about the game Anthem?
I've never played it, but I know I wanted to at one point because it looked pretty dope.
Yeah,
But case in point, yeah, apparently it fell pretty flat on its face when it first released. They had to
yeah.
make big changes.
See, I've never played it either, but I remember when it was coming out, it was all hyped up, and there was someone else that I gamed with a few times, and he was really excited for it. And he was like, "Oh my god, no! You can like fight underwater and fight in the air and all this other shit, yada yada yada. It's really cool, this and that." And I was like, "Oh, okay, but again, do you see who's developing it? You're gonna be disappointed." And lo and behold, Anthem came, and like it fell flat on its face so fucking hard. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
like you all literally bought into the hype. I'm like,
I think with Anthem, I remember someone. Well, this was shortly after it released, so it's not early access or anything like this when it was released. I remember someone doing a comparison video. They went over their computer specs. They had pretty good specs on the computer, pretty powerful machine. Um, they was basically doing a side by side of all the scenes that they had in the what is essentially the trailer, the the hyped up. They've dolled it up a bit. They've made it look super cool to entice the people, and then the side by side footage he took, it was like I don't know, 20 frames per second. People glitching through walls. It, if it could be a Bethesda game, it would essentially make for a great Bethesda game, just because it was that kind of level of buggy, you know?
yeah, no, I completely understand that because an infamous case of that is the Dark Souls 2 original like E3 trailer. I don't know if you ever saw that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when it released, that game was basically it looks like hot garbage. It's fun hot garbage, but it
Yes, it's
looks
fun heart garbage, but yeah, it was like that initial trailer just made it look so dark and cool, and the graphics looked phenomenal. And then the game was released, and it basically just looked like a cartoon version of what that trailer was. And it was like, what the fuck? Luckily, since then, I don't think From Software has ever basically blatantly lied in their trailers like they did on that.
yeah, I actually kind of want to say that From Software is actually probably one of the good ones. They do have
Yes.
their downsides, but I think consistently they've put out gold, you know?
Oh, absolutely. I fucking love basically all their games since Demon Souls.
Yeah.
I absolutely fucking adore their games. But like,
Still waiting for Bloodborne to be ported. I know they said they wouldn't, but I'm still waiting for it, guys.
they're gonna be waiting
Bring it to
forever.
PC, guys.
Just like I'm one of the people holding out hope of Bloodborne 2 comes along at some point.
Oh yes.
Speaking of
It's like it's
Bloodborne,
great. It's great that you've got exclusives on the console and everything, but why would you sell just for one when you could make twice as much money? Because you know people are going to buy it for both.
yeah. But but also it's what was it earlier this year? It was either earlier this year or towards the end of last year. I actually 100%ed Bloodborne.
Oh yeah.
It was not, yeah, it only took me fucking what? It came out in 2015.
Oh.
Only took
I
me.
tried to do something similar with Dark Souls 3.
Oh, I've 100%ed that one too.
Yeah, I think I spent countless hours in there to the point where it actually became a bit of a unhealthy obsession. And by the end of it, I think I worked out that I only had about 40% of it done. So either I'm a terrible gamer or they just know how to hide things from me.
Uh, I'm not gonna lie. Most of the trophies you can do without, like, it shouldn't be too hard. But there are some where that you have to farm, like the fucking uh oh, what are they? The covenants. You have to farm the fucking covenant shit in order to
Yeah.
get like all the miracles and the spells, and pyromancy, and that shit takes for fucking ever. But
Yeah.
regardless, it just yeah that side of the gaming industry is like you said. Well, you mentioned earlier about like the big ones need to get out and we need fresh blood coming in. I agree, but the problem is all the big name fucking companies are buying up all the fucking fresh blood and just destroying them. It's like these small teams are like produce these great indie games and then suddenly it's like, oh, EA bought them up and now they're disbanded. And it's
Yeah.
just kind of
Yeah.
like, why would you do that? Why would you destroy that team? Like, if you want to buy them, fine. If you want to give them more support, more money, more people to help make bigger
Yeah,
games.
support the team. Don't just assimilate it into your other projects that suck, by the way.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, but it's like there, other than very few developers that are out there, I really just don't I almost don't look forward to new releases anymore because I'm just like, okay, get the fucking new release out of the way, wait a month or two, let them, because there'll be day one bullshit that, oh, well, we didn't catch this in testing. And I'm like, well, it's because you didn't even test the fucking game.
yeah.
uh,
I mean, everyone's got their favorite companies. Me, I'm a bit of a Square Enix whore, as you well know. Um, but outside of that, yeah, no. Big companies need to kind of dial it back a bit and just stop listening to their board members, I suppose. Stop listening to their board members and just go back to creating games with a vision in mind.
yeah.
Don't. It's simple as this. Like you can chuck out game after game after game. Like the umpteenth Call of Duty hasn't really changed. They've added like two gadgets and maybe there's a black woman because they want to be progressive about it. But ultimately, it's the same bloody game. There's no vision there. They've just put in the newest current modern technology that military folk wear these days, you know? Instead of that, how about you just slow down a little bit?
Well,
Release games with a vision, with your crazy amount of manpower and just funding, and create something that's probably going to sell for 5 times the amount of a Call of Duty game and is a new EP and get people hyped for that new EP and
no,
bring color back to the industry. You have the power to do so. Be innovators. Stop being
whatever the fuck
well,
they're being.
yeah.
Yeah.
What's the opposite of a whale? You get whales who throw money at things, but what's the opposite of that?
Oh, fuck, I don't know. A minnow? The whale's huge, a minnow's tiny? I don't know.
For me, bottom feeder comes to mind.
Okay, well, no,
No.
I mean that's true. They just, they suck. Uh, they
Yeah.
that or I yeah, no, I agree. It's like it's not one of the problems I see is they every company wants to make the next biggest game out there. It's
And
like
that's healthy.
it's healthy to a point. There's a point where it's like too big, it's too much. Like or it's the world is too big, but the details are too little. Uh,
Yeah. Have you seen the trailer or teaser footage for what is it they do the Bethesda's doing? I see the new space
oh
Skyrim
fuck,
thing they're doing.
I forget what it's called.
When you get a chance, take a look at that. You've just because you know Skyrim. You go around a single corner, get bombarded with 5 different quests. There's things to do everywhere.
Uh-huh.
You play any of their games, you're going to be bombarded with activities, and even if the world is kind of shallow, like you're never wanting for things to do.
Yeah.
Try looking at the footage they've got for that. this is another. This is basically to be the successor of Skyrim and Fallout, where basically it's in a grander scale. They're in space. It's not just one planet. You've got thousands of planets, and yet you look at the footage, and it's all just barren, boring wasteland with no landmarks. Um, you look at you can do like a 360. Get out your ship, do a 360, take a look. Your chances are you're not actually going to see anything worth exploring because you've already seen it in the small radius around your ship. You know?
Yeah. No, actually two games come to mind on this topic. No Man's Sky. Do you remember
Yeah.
back when it was first launched?
Yeah, started off an absolute, well, pile of crap.
Uh-huh.
Now it's pretty fun, and it's gone through strides. I can only commend them on the strides they've taken, but
Yeah, they were
yeah,
certainly
ev-
another company that just lied through their fucking teeth to sell the game initially. But since then, they've made good on their word. And uh, but here's the thing though, like I played No Man's Sky, I think last year, and
yeah,
you talk about the grand scale and this and that, and it's like still didn't find anything like the gameplay it was entertaining enough, but like I went to a lot of planets, and every planet I went to was virtually the same in the concept of it's basically just a barren wasteland. Like I
Iron
didn't
Wasteland.
find any planets that were full of, luscious greenery and, looked really interesting and cool. It was essentially
Yeah.
this planet's really cold, this one's really hot, this one's toxic, this one, whatever.
Yeah, no, I get your point. The gameplay loop also aids that it is a repetitive game. There is not much variation. I mean, they can mix it up by putting different plants and stuff on different planets with the weird randomized generator thing.
Yeah.
And there's like so many planets. Like there is a lot of RNG that go into it.
Oh yeah.
But at least that is somewhat aided by the kind of, Minecraft-esque sort of gathering and building part of it, which broader games which are exploration based, they don't have that aspect to them. So it's less forgivable for those games to be kind of empty, barren wastelands
Yeah.
because
No,
they're
like
adventure sandboxes.
yeah. Well, like I said, now the way No Man's Sky is, the gameplay and stuff, it was fun. I'm a little
Yeah.
disappointed in the fact that it's like I could go to 10 different planets, given on the huge scope of that game, 10 planets ain't shit. But
It ain't shit, yeah.
I can go to 10 planets and not see anything different. And that's my problem. Is I'm like there was no hook to that. It was
Yeah.
basically like, yo, you might come across one of these planets, and I'm like, okay, well, you know, if alls I'm seeing is rocks, no matter how fun the gameplay is, this is boring to look at. And
Yeah.
so that I feel like personally that just again, they could have way, way limited that down. It didn't need to be
Yeah.
the size of an actual fucking
Okay.
universe in a game.
I I've actually got a bit of a experience with that game, which actually kind of backs up your point. Okay, um, so spoilers, by the way, very light spoilers. Essentially, you start the game stranded, your ship is busted. You do your tutorial by basically being thrown into the thick of it. You gotta gather your materials, you gotta repair your ship, and then you gotta go make sense of where you are. And one of the first objectives you get is to obviously jump out the system into the next system along and explore what's up over there as well. You get to a point, I think it's like 5 quests in, and it's you gotta basically go look for this being that is kind of communicating to you via your ship. but they almost sound like they can't hear you. Um, and essentially you basically be thrown into this string of quests revolving around this person, right? You got to discover where they are. Now, a big part of No Man's Sky is that it's got like a huge universe, right? Plenty of planets. You jump to different stars. There's different resources, all that good stuff. And yet, like, as much as you can jump about and you can do the story from any system of your choice, and the and to a good point about the story, actually, it doesn't matter where in the universe you are. You do not need to backtrack. You can just go on to the next objective, roughly where you are. Yeah. Um, but that's just it. At the same time, on the flip side, all of that is made kind of redundant because if you wanted to, you could pretty much do the uh, the whole quest line in the same system you are in and probably never leave it.
Yeah,
Give or take, you jump over here, you go to a space station, then you jump back to the system you were in the first place, you know?
yeah,
Um, so you got this broad scope of a story, and it just kind of is pointless because you can just do it locally, you know.
yeah.
um it just seems like a lot of programming time went into making something so broad when it could have been limited and given so much more oomph, you know.
Yeah, there was no. Uh, Basically, it was like, hey, here's the quest, but there was no. What am I trying to? Encouragement to go explore the rest of the universe. And then the people that did, because if you remember when the game first launched, and like the whole point, I think, was like to get to the center of the universe or
Yeah.
whatever. The people who did, all it did was literally take them back to the very beginning. That was it.
Yeah.
That was all it did. And it was, and I'm just like, that is the prime example of a game that just went way too big for their manpower. They could have limited it to like 100 planets if they wanted to even go that big. 100 planets and focused on each and every one of them.
Yeah. And you know what? That's actually kind of another point I want to make. It's affected the community. So, you know how I was saying in Skyrim, you turn a corner, there's like five different landmarks you can see, you're being bombarded with things to do.
Yeah.
Well, No Man's Sky, it is multiplayer. Like,
Now.
even if you go single player, it's a multiplayer game. Okay, but
Uh-huh.
apparently, if I can make sense of this, apparently you get to a point where you got to collect these symbols. You then use these symbols on a gateway, which takes you to Galaxy 2 or something, air quotes. Um, and there's like hundreds of these galaxies, and somewhere in these hundreds of galaxies, in the thousands upon thousands upon thousands of stars in said galaxies, there are other players. And it's true, you will probably never run into them because you're just there's just so much like space in between you, and they're somewhere off in the something or other nebula, whilst you're, you know, over here, and you don't even know it, so the players over there, you know, so you're
Yeah.
never going to run into them. But that's just it. Going back onto the landmark thing, if you scrunch that down just a little bit, so that you got all your players in the same galaxy, maybe, yeah, you can kind of keep it broad. You can kind of make it, oh, there's so many stars, woo. But at the same time, increases the chance that someone's going to stumble upon someone else's like base that they've made. And by proxy, that would be a community made landmark, which would increase the intrigue. It would probably even cause some sort of boost in community, actually, because so as far as I could see, the only community you get is if you go into this I forget what they call it. It's like this it's like a weird Nexus spaceship thing, and it's like a hub where you can see people running around, but that's pretty much the only place you ever see them running around.
Uh-huh.
you know?
That's the exact same experience I had. Was on planet, nothing. Don't see anyone. Nothing I
Yeah.
could go to a space station. Yeah, people start
Oh,
showing up, and
it gets better. It gets better. I recently did a expedition. An expedition is essentially you get set a series of objectives in a situation which locks you off to half of the game. Okay, so the recent one I did, you get given a flagship. You have to repair the systems on the flagship, and then you gotta make your way to these rendezvous points, several stars over, and discover the story of the flag, basically the fleet that came before you, essentially. Now, that was fun because you would run into people's flagships in the same system as yours. You would find their little bases that they've set up. You would, you know, randomly come across like some guy building a monolithic tower for absolutely God knows what reason, just because he decided he needed a base camp on a planet. That was cool. You get to these rendezvous points, and they're absolutely peppered with these kind of little drones which like replay messages at you that the community set. So it's like, half of them are yelling memes at you the whole time. But the point is, you've got these fields of drones around your objective here, which are basically like, here's a community. There's a community that's been here. You're following their footsteps. See where they're going by following your next objective. And that is kind of cool. And it's all localized. And you get like a really good feel of like a multiplayer experience in that game. And yet it's wasted outside of the expeditions.
yeah, no, it certainly it sounds like it. That's sometimes developers have a good idea, but then they just turn around and shoot themselves in the foot.
Yeah, yeah.
It's and I don't understand it. I don't, I really don't get it. It sometimes it just makes me scratch my head and I'm like, why? Why?
Yeah.
But now another example of a game trying to be too big with too little detail or polish or whatever you want to call it is you played Cyberpunk 2077?
Yeah. Probably the most overhyped, buggy piece of crap to ever hit the PC. Not many PCs could handle it, I believe. I think they've improved things, but uh,
Okay.
I can't be bothered to try it again.
Okay, so I never played it at launch, like because I just had a feeling that it was gonna,
Yeah.
much like I do. I don't trust when a game is that hyped. I just don't trust it. I'm like, sorry, it's not gonna live up to it. And yeah, it came out. And that's everyone said it was a buggy piece of shit. It sucked. Uh, if I remember right, the PS4s wouldn't even actually work or it would or it would fuck up the PS4 or something. And
Brick 'em or something, yeah.
yeah, I don't know how accurate this is, but I was told by I think one of my brother-in-laws that literally the developer said, "No, we didn't test it on PlayStation 4 because it worked on PlayStation 5, so we just assumed it would work." Like and I
Right,
could be
okay.
paraphrasing there, but it was like if that is true, one, how did you even make a game if you're that stupid? Uh, but two, the other thing is like visually, it looks great. It is. It's fucking great. Like actually, I just played it the other day some, and I restarted it because I've never actually beaten it, and I just was like, fine, I'll just restart it and maybe do a full playthrough. Let's see. They've just introduced some sort of DLC for it or whatever, like the Night Runners or something or whatever. I don't know. Not important,
Yeah.
but it was like some sort of DLC for it. And I shit you not, there are still bugs in the game or glitches or whatever that just make me want to beat my head into the wall. Like for example, literally the start of the game, like one of the opening cutscenes, so to speak, opening cutscene. Is like when you first get to Night City and you and the one guy team up or whatever and you start hanging out. It like one of the shots is like you two walking down the street or walking into a club or something, and I shit you
Yeah.
not, the characters literally were all just T-posing floating through the air.
Okay. Right. Unpopular opinion, but think about the theme of the game, okay?
Yeah.
And just bear with me. How do you know this wasn't CD Project Red's like vision for the game to be a buggy piece of mess? You think about it. All the characters are like augmented to the teeth with like all this like different tech. How do you know that like you're not just playing an incredibly hacked like individual who literally is seeing people like T-pose?
Well, that's actually I haven't thought about that. That's actually good.
Yeah, see,
But
and people whined about it, and now they've had to patch it out because it's immersion breaking. It's like, how
okay,
do you know?
well,
How do you know it wasn't designed to be that way?
here's the problem with that though. You said you play a character and you see other people T-posing. My character was also T-posing and floating through the air.
Yeah, but like, my dude, maybe he doesn't know any better. Maybe he's so used to seeing his mother T-pose that he grew up basically
Oh
T-posing because he thought
my
that
God.
was the way people were, and now everybody thinks he's a freak, and that's why you you essentially go off on your murderous tangents because you're just unhinged. You're a buggy, hacked individual who's unhinged with Keanu Reeves in his head.
I swear, you're either the dumbest or the smartest person I know about this. I can't figure out which one.
Also, I want to point out that such a buggy mess was done by the developers of probably one of the best franchises I've ever played. You know, the Witcher
Yeah.
games, which that's surprising.
I
That is surprising, but
unpopular
that's also
unpopular opinion. I played Witcher 2 and I beat it because it was like free on the 360. Like you get the Xbox Gold every month. You get a free game or two or whatever.
Mhm.
Back in the day, I got it, played it, beat it. Thought, hey, it's great. Witcher 3 came out, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna like this. I think The Witcher 3 is so boring.
Ah, that's a shit. But then it's also incredibly. It's way more open world, and I think it was like maybe watered down a bit. Um, Personally, I have a massive love-hate relationship with the franchise. I just want to take you back to my college years, okay? Um, Witcher 1 was released, okay? And our computers were pretty good at that time, okay? We tried it on my computer and it would not run. It was 5 frames per second. It was horrible. Okay, so we thought, all right, fine, we'll chuck it on my mate's PC. His was even better. Still ran like arse. Right.
Oh,
So we go and we put it in another one of our mates' PCs, and he's got like a super computer, super like nerd. He was reigning supreme above us all with his like amazing Windows 98 or something, and it ran perfectly, which was also half the issue because after this whole rigmarole of trying to get this game running, it turns out the game handles like arse, it looks like arse, and it is just generally arse.
yeah.
We were so let down by it that we tried to set fire to the CD. We threw the CD out of a three-story window. It didn't smash, so we decided to go back outside and stomp on it. Um, we
God.
then proceeded to get a bit carried away and actually kind of do circles around it and kind of chant and just the whole thing turned into like a ritualistic sacrifice of such a terrible game. And then The
Uh,
Witcher 2 came out, and that was amazing.
yeah. Like I said, The Witcher 2 was the first one I played, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. I think I like it. And then The Witcher 3 came out, and I got it, and I just, I don't know, I just found it boring. And then I actually bought, it was like the Witcher Enhanced Edition on Steam, and started playing it, and then like it's just a completely different game from the other two. I'm like, oh god, what the fuck is
Hmm.
this? But
Yeah, yeah.
but
It's not forgiving either.
no,
It's really not forgiving.
no. But to go back to Cyberpunk though, I was about the big game, big you know open world, yada yada whatever. But little polished details not done. If you walk around on the street of Cyberpunk 2077, I shit you not, there is like maybe 10 different NPCs walking.
Well,
Otherwise,
like skins?
yes,
Wow.
like they are straight up everywhere you look. You're like, oh, hey, look, that guy looks pretty cool. Turn a corner, boom, you see three more of him right in front of you.
Oh, you thought he was cool. Clearly, you wanted more of that. I mean,
No,
come
but
on,
it just,
It's a bustling metropolis, my guy. Oh my gosh.
but I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, how hard is it to make more than a handful of skins for your NPCs walking around everywhere? Like, I'm like, you don't have to fucking go balls to the wall and make every NPC different, but Jesus Christ. Like, I should not be seeing five of the same character, the same skin at once.
It's fine though. It's fine because they at least made Keanu Reeves look hot.
Oh my God. See, and then that's another thing that just a small little topic. So Cyberpunk 2077 had Keanu Reeves, right? Obviously, they spent a fuck ton of money getting Keanu Reeves to do that.
Yeah.
Have you seen the initial trailer for Arc 2, Survival Evolved
Oh
2?
gosh. Okay. No, I don't have the best experiences with the first one. I personally think it was like hot garbage. Good premise, poorly executed, badly optimized garbage. Um, but yeah, okay,
Uh,
go on. Who? I have not seen it. Who did they star?
Vin Diesel.
That's just turned me off. Like, have you
Yeah,
ever played his games? Like,
no,
they're terrible.
no,
Like, don't
yeah.
ever include him in video games,
Well, okay,
please.
okay, so here's the thing. Like in the first Ark Survival, I don't know with the later expansions if they actually added any sort of story to it. But there was like the first two, maybe three expansions that I actually have and played some, and really it was just like more dinosaurs, different map, yada yada. There was never
Yeah,
any story shit added to it. So it was basically you wake up here, you don't know why you're here, and you survive and you tame dinosaurs. Okay, really cool fucking
fair enough
premise.
premise.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it was really cool, really fun. Or at least the idea. I had a lot of fun with it at times, and other times I wanted to fucking throw my computer out the window. Uh, but then it's like, okay, hey, here's Arc 2. And immediately I'm kind of put off because I'm like, what Arc 2? How can they exactly change it? It's a very simple premise, very simple idea, but effective, unless they're just going to make it better. No, there's some story. And it's like Vin Diesel is the leader of some sort of fucking tribe, and he has a daughter, and he is basically just running in this entire trailer. That's all it is. Just like he runs, finds her, takes her, and runs some more. And it literally doesn't explain shit. And honestly, the CGI for it or the graphics of this fucking trailer, they're so bad, they're hilarious. Like, you really just have to
No,
look it
that
up. It
that sounds about right.
yeah, it looks
It
terrible.
kind of reminds me of the costume design of the Resident Evil movies. Like they were trying so desperately to look like the characters we all know and love, but they
Yeah,
all just came off so terribly designed.
yeah, yeah. And I'm just like, maybe if you all would quit. spending your entire fucking budget on these big name people to advertise your game, basically. Uh, maybe you could put that towards the actual game itself and
I'm
make it worth a
gonna
damn.
sorry, entrepreneur YuYu coming out here. How about instead of buying people like Vin Diesel and Keanu Reeves to, act for your crappy little trailer that explains nothing? If you're gonna do that, why not, as a game developer, invest some money into like an acting department, hire some promising talent, and maybe introduce new, basically, stars to the world of acting and reap the benefits. Just saying, there could be a lot of money there, and you're
Actually,
limiting yourselves by hiring other actors.
yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea. I mean,
And you know what
because
else? It creates jobs.
yeah, that is true. And it's just literally just have the actors, portray different characters. It's like, oh, there's a
Yeah.
new DLC come out. Okay, just CGI, makeup, whatever, have them portray a different character in the new DLC.
Yeah. I mean, come on, just think about it. Like 2 years down the line, you could be watching a new James Bond movie or Mission Impossible, I guess, if you're American. And like, you could be like, "Oh my God, the star of the show is like Joe Bloggs, world-renowned actor for that one thing where they were running and then they basically picked up a girl like it was some sort of baton and then ran some more. I freaking loved her in that, you know?
Yeah. Uh,
But no, no, it's
yeah,
it's got to be
I
a colossal waste of money instead. Yeah,
yeah. No, I get it because it's essentially the same thing with like voice actors. It's like voice actors, we don't ever truly see them, but we recognize their voices in so much different, whether it's video games or anime or movies or whatever. It's like we recognize their voices and we're just like, oh my god, that guy, that's the guy that voiced so and so and stuff. He fucking does great. I love it. And it's basically the same fucking thing. It's like, oh, that guy was in the fucking trailer, uh, for that game, and now he's in this game, and it's like, oh, I hope he does really good here, like he did over there. It's essentially, it's like, yeah, it's like the acting world for video games, basically,
yeah, yeah.
and stuff. But I, 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 I don't know. People just look for different ways to fucking blow all their damn money on shit, and then
That
are like,
money
oh
will
my god,
spend.
well, look, this game costs so much money to make, and it's like, no, three-quarters of that went to this one fucking guy over here.
Yeah, they got to pay the wage,
Yeah,
singular wage.
yeah, but oh well. Uh, Games though in general, they're just I'm like yeah, there's the nostalgia that we grew up on, like we said before. You got the disc or the cartridge, yada yada, and I'm like, I get things have changed, but they've not changed for the better.
Yeah,
And in some ways they have. Like we have access to all the indie games. It's one man teams. Or small teams putting out games. We have access to all them, and that's good. I love that. But
yeah.
it's opened up this door for all the well-known companies that used to make these great games that we all loved and just played hundreds of hours in to suddenly just quit caring about what they're doing, and they're just like, oh, how can we make a quick buck?
How can we make a quick buck? Now listen here, developers. Going back to the acting thing, like if you want to make a quick buck and you want some serious talent, hit me up. Like
No,
I'll
no,
happily
no, you
I'll do some acting for you. I could put on a proper good show, and yeah,
no,
you wouldn't have to pay much at all.
no, no, no.
Just
You
saying.
said at the beginning, about your new job that if your name isn't Joe and you're not complaining about your landlord, to leave you the fuck alone.
Yeah. So basically, just make that sure that you're a game developer named Joe who has problems with their landlord. If you're that person, that strangely, oddly specific person, hit me up. I'll gladly do a project with you.
I'm sure there's one Joe at least out there in the world with that exact thing, that exact problem.
Finally, someone who cares about my exact niche idea ordeal. And I just so happen to need rookie talent. Oh my god, this is amazing.
Yeah. But there was one other topic that I wanted to discuss, and I mean it's a pretty universally agreed upon thing, but microtransactions,
Get
pay to
rid of them.
win. It's the worst fucking thing to ever
Get
have
rid of them.
existed.
Get rid of them. They're all right. Case study. All right, fair enough. Keep your microtransactions. Couldn't give a damn. Okay. Keep your stores with the aesthetics and all that good stuff.
Yeah,
It's an optional item. People don't need them. It's not going to change the game. If it looks pretty and they want to splurge out their money and support your company, screw it. Sure, give them skins, but don't attach stats. Don't attach like traits or anything to these skins because at the end of the day, all that's going to do is make sure you have a player base of less than 100, and then you won't be making any money at all. So just
that I
just
completely
just
agree.
stick to skins. Aesthetics is fine.
Yes,
Yeah,
aesthetics,
stick to skins. Like it's been
cosmetics.
proven. I just want to point out Guild Wars 2, one of the biggest MMOs on the market still to this day, is completely free. All you do is buy the expansions and then it's like there you go, that's all you're paying. Um they have quite an extensive cash shop with basically all sorts of goodies that they make a living and keep the game running with, but it's mostly aesthetics. Like even the stuff that you would deem pay to win isn't really pay to win, you know?
Yeah,
Ooh, you get a gathering node in your little player home, which helps you get one thing per day. Oh, amazing. You know?
yeah.
Like it doesn't make a big deal. Like you can't get anything major from that cash shop, and it is pretty much solely supporting that game, and it is huge.
No,
Take a
that's
book out there. Take a page out of their book. Yeah.
yeah. No, I completely agree. Cosmetics, by all means, stuff the game as much with that shit as you want. That's what just don't advertise it constantly while I play the game. That'll piss me off. But uh, but
Yeah,
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 it's literally like you said. Do not attach stats to it. Don't attach anything other than this looks cool. That's it.
yeah.
That's all you need to put on it. And that's what I don't fucking understand about this is I feel like anyways, at least from what I've seen, the gaming industry has moved away, at least in like PC and console gaming, of the pay to win aspect. Like it used to be really big. And like you said, it killed tons of games. And there's
Yeah,
even indie developers that are still doing it because they are trying. Basically, they don't care if their game succeeds. They just want to suck as much money from the game as quickly as possible. And
you want to
that's a
know
shame.
why one of the biggest PvP scenes uh, in gaming history is basically Blizzard's World of Warcraft?
Uh-huh.
It's because that is actually entirely to do with skill. There is no benefit from the gear you use in game. There's no, you can't, there is no pay to win.
Uh-huh.
Like
Exactly.
you can whale out on those coins they give, which like gets you crazy amounts of gold, and sure that may benefit you in the raids, but the PvP scene, yeah, it benefits you none at all, really. Um, it's just a shame about everything else about the game, really. But
Pretty
yeah,
much.
just saying,
No, no,
just saying that
pretty much correct.
PvP, let your victories in PvP mean something by giving you rewards that matter, like it does in World of Warcraft, and you might find that you don't need to resort to microtransactions for pay to win items because you just generally have a very enticing game on your hands that everyone wants to play, and they don't feel alienated because they didn't want to waste their entire livelihood.
No, that's right. Because like PvP and like World of Warcraft, I've never been big on. I don't know why, but I've never been big. The current Star Wars MMO, the Old Republic, and
Mm.
ESO, both of those games I loved PvP, and like I played the fuck out of them, and I got pretty good. I will never claim to like, oh, I was the best guy on the server. I wasn't, but in my guild, in my groups that I would do, like I was general, or at the end of the PvP thing, I was generally at the top or towards the top on that list. But both of those games, there's no pay to win aspect. All the shit in there is pure, and I spent a shit ton of money on both of
Yeah.
those games
I'll tell you what,
in the Switch.
ESO has its own problems with its cash shop. It may not be the pay to win side of things, but the limited time sales
Oh my god.
for something that's not going to be back on sale for
Yes.
probably years to come. Yeah, get rid of that because that causes people to panic buy, and that's incredibly predatory. That's predatory sales.
Yeah. It is.
You're putting
It's
people in a shit fucking situation in the real world because they've basically panic bought due to your fucking timers.
I,
And
see. I That's where I'm kind of on the fence with that because one, I do agree it is a very like it's effective, but it's not a good what thing to do in any way, shape, or form. But also at the same time, I have never once panic bought something. I'm like, I, and that's, I feel like some people, like the people that panic
yeah.
buy are people that are terrible with money.
Oh,
Like,
don't worry. Like that whilst that is true, you seem to be pretty on top of your money. Like you don't seem to like panic buy, you don't seem to splurge out
no,
excessively either. You actually seem to have your head on your shoulders with that. But one simple change would basically correct this whole panic buying issue they have with their predatory sales, and that is increase the limited time from I think it was like 48 hours or something to a couple of weeks. You know,
yeah,
people get paid every so and so and they can budget better and oh suddenly they can afford your shitty mount that's like a recolor or whatever, you know?
yeah.
Like
No, I get
but
there. There's a lot of that sales shit that uh, that the industry as a whole has gotten into a lot of trouble for, such as like the predatory selling tactics like that, that panic buying shit, gambling, basically using gambling, loot boxes and crap. And I don't mind loot boxes so long as everything in it is purely cosmetic.
and if you have something in your cash shop where you've got to use real world currency to buy a fake currency to buy your fake items,
No, that
get
is,
fucking rid of that fake currency because you most likely can only buy it at certain pockets of money. So like 500, 1,000, 2,500, and it's like the items will always be priced at like let's say 600, so you can't just go for the cheapest,
yeah,
you got to buy the next stage up, or it'd be like 1,100, so you can't just buy the 10 the 1,000 package, you got to get that and the 500 or go for the next stage up and have that excess. So at that point you might as well buy something with that excess, but wait, you're short 100, you know,
yeah.
like holy shit, get rid of that, please. Like, it's the worst. No one likes you. You. I hate to say it, but someone touched you when you was younger, and you're probably adopted now. Okay, but get rid of it. Just get rid of it.
Now,
Why are you like this?
because no one loved them as a child, or well, I guess loved them in the wrong way. But no, it's yeah. There's a lot of shit. Like I like games that I don't care if there's like because like a lot of games have like the basic currency, like using Sea of Thieves for example, that they have gold. Okay, you have gold in game, you get gold out the fucking ass, and then
Yeah,
you have the whatever the fuck those like those blue coins are that you get in there. Okay, you can
yeah.
still get those in game. Fair, not as easy as gold, but you can still get them. And then you have, I believe it's called the ancient coins.
Which I think you can still get those
You
in
can't. I
game.
looked it
Are
up.
incredible.
Yeah, I looked
Really?
it up, and it's like you have to. It's like a certain boss or a certain enemy in the game will drop it, will drop some or whatever, or give you some or whatever it is. It's extremely rare, extremely hard to do, but it is possible if you want to go that route. So I
Yeah,
I don't mind games that do that kind of shit. It's like, hey, if you don't want to pay world money, we're not going to stop you from being able to do this, but it will be harder for you.
yeah. You
And
just won't have the instant gratification of having that item. You need to work for it.
yeah,
Um,
and I
I've noticed with Sea
completely
of
respect that.
Thieves, there's no yeah, and with that, I've noticed with Sea of Thieves, I don't think anything's really kind of limited time exclusive
Yeah, I don't
on
think
the
I've seen.
shop.
I don't think I've seen anything.
Yeah.
Well, maybe. I honestly, I don't know. I can't remember. But
Mm.
I just shit like that. I don't mind that whatsoever because you still have the chance to get that premium currency. It's just harder. Like you said, you don't get the instant gratification. You don't get the instant,
Yeah.
oh my god, I want that, I got it, yay. It's like, no, I had to work for this and I did it, and honestly it feels better when you do that. But
Yeah, I was gonna say, and when they buy that skin that they've been wanting, I bet they feel amazing in that skin.
oh,
Compared to
absolutely.
me, who I mean, I don't have a premium skin. Mine's actually a one you just unlock in game, but like it's really easy to get,
Yeah.
right? I reckon they feel like an absolute badass in their skins, whereas I'm just like happy to look red, you know?
Yeah. No, yeah, it's absolutely. Because I'm trying to think if I've ever done that in a game. I don't think I ever have. I think I've always just ended up paying for it because I'm an impatient asshole who's just like, I want it now. Give it to me.
Give it to me.
I don't know, but regardless, it's one of those things where it's like microtransactions are fine as long as there's not stats attached to whatever it is you're
Yes. Oh God, yes.
buying. But I digress.
Gaming is fun. How dare you speak bad about gaming? There's nothing wrong with gaming. Don't you ever? Oh
Oh,
my
there's nothing
gosh.
wrong with gaming.
Nothing wrong. Oh gosh, no.
Yeah,
Nothing. The industry is
there's
amazing.
nothing wrong with playing games and doing, gaming shit for a living and yada yada, but the gaming industry, there's a lot wrong with it. But regardless, damn, we've been going for almost an hour and a half.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, it's been a while. I said there's tons of more points we could discuss on the matter and stuff, but I think we've covered at least three of the really big ones
Yeah, yeah.
and stuff, and just it's like if you could, if one of those points would just be fixed, if the whole industry would just say, hey, we're not going to do this anymore. Oh my god, like it would be better
You'll
than.
rekindle a lot of lost love, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. It would definitely uh fucking I honestly I'm kind of a loss for words for it because if I ever just heard those words come out of a developer's mouth, I would probably shit myself.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, "Oh god, hell froze over."
I don't know. My takeaway from everything that's going on with the games industry these days is simply this. It has been proven that if you kind of create things for the gaming community, you're probably going to get as much money as you would as if you just created a product that dies, which was intended purely to be a money grab. Um, so just make something that's good, and keep people kind of like looking at you as the holy grail of game companies. Be that company. Be the company for the people.
Be
Make
from
games that
software.
we want to play, and we will buy your shit up like it's going out of fashion. Okay?
Yeah,
And we'll happily do so. But
be
right now,
be
no
from
one's happily
software.
doing anything.
Nah, be from software. Because besides the Dark Souls 2 trailer, originally, like they have done virtually no wrong.
or or just okay. You can also be like Square Enix and just make amazing games and just oh my gosh,
No,
I'll just eat
like
them up.
fucking
Oh my
Square
god,
Enix
I
and
love
just
my JRPGs. They're so good.
the fuck fuck Square. Nah, Square Enix got some good games as we've discussed before. Final Fantasy X is my favorite game they've ever made of all time. And
Yes, and Final Fantasy VII sucks. The remake is much better by far. How dare you even suggest otherwise? It fixes everything that was wrong with the original game and more. And the best game in the franchise is Final Fantasy VI, actually. So go suck on it.
uh, my only problem with the remake is that you can't fucking jump. You would think a super soldier would be able to just jump.
Oh, Final Fantasy, mate. They can fly, but only in cutscenes.
Yeah, pretty much. Hey, we can defeat this big ass boss with one hit, but only in the cutscene. Otherwise, you're gonna get wrecked. Uh,
Gonna get
oh
wrecked.
well. Well, like I said, we've been going for over an hour and a half now.
Yeah.
So
All right. Well, let's wrap it up here, I guess. And yeah,
wrap it up, put a bow on it, and call it good for the first episode of
yeah,
We're
yeah.
Right, You're Wrong.
Because we are right, and you are most definitely wrong.
Yeah, if you don't agree with us, you're just wrong. They're
Yeah, you're just wrong.
you,
Like you're welcome to your opinion, even if it's wrong.
yeah.
Okay.
Just know that you're living your life wrong, and you should seek help immediately.
I
But
have been YuYu.
yep, he's YuYu. I'm Pyrisk. Our channel, well, you'll be watching this one on my channel. The next one that he hosts will be up on his channel, and his channel will be linked in the description below.
Please look forward to it. Hi.
Now, look forward to the next one that I host. It'll be better.
Wow, rude.
Nah, just telling the truth. Unlike the gaming industry.